everybody, my name is Cheryl. Welcome back to Mer Pirate Makes. I've been sick again. Hopefully we're over it. I don't know what it is about Colorado. It's really grown on me over the summer. I think the things that I don't really like are specific to like this apartment and this city more than Colorado. We've been on a couple really nice hikes. We've been to some cool events. And yeah, I'm glad I'm feeling better about being in Colorado now. But it's still like this particular apartment wasn't built, I think, to be in Colorado. So, anyways, I'm not sure if that's related to me being sick all the time or not, but yeah, I think we got COVID, honestly, or just a really bad flu, but it knocked us out for like a good couple weeks. But I think I'm back at it now, and today I want to share with you some of the recent things I've got. This is like a tiny haul. It's a mix of thrifted and stuff that I bought on the sale. So let's start with the fabric. I found two really cool pieces of fabric at the thrift store. They were having their half off sale. They do it once a month on Saturday, and the week before I had seen a really cool pair of purple corduroy pants that I really wish I had gotten, and I left it because they were like $11, which I tend not to pay more than $10 for anything thrifted, but I might have to adjust that for inflation because they were definitely gone when we got there. Yes, it was yesterday. So I did pick up a couple cuts of fabric and some patterns. So let's start with the fabric because there's not that much of that, and then we'll move on to the patterns. I definitely have my eye out for fabrics that would be good for fall and winter. We've had a couple cooler days and the nights are getting pretty cold, and so my mind is naturally starting to shift in that direction. And they did have a couple cuts of wool. They didn't really speak to me though. The texture wasn't ideal, and I just decided to go ahead and pass on those. But I did find two cuts of lining fabric, and I would like to make some jackets. So the first one is this red lining fabric. It's definitely polyester. It doesn't feel like the best. Like the front, the shiny side feels good. So the back side is definitely not something I would want against my skin. The front side, the shiny side feels okay. So I thought that this would be, and probably was intended to be, a lining. So it's this beautiful, really saturated red. It's 44 inches wide. It's 5 yards. Original price was $16.50, which I would never have paid, but it was half off, so I went ahead and grabbed it. And I just think this would be really pretty as the lining of a jacket because you'd get that pop of color, or maybe even the lining, I don't know, of a skirt or a dress. There's a lot of it, so I promise I'm going to fold it up nice later. And then this is the second piece of fabric I got. This one's much better quality, but I do still think it's a lining. You might be able to get away with wearing it, but it's a little bit sheer. And this one is 45 inches wide. It's 4 yards. Originally $12. I think my settings are off. Originally $12, so I paid $6 for it, which I think is a really great deal for 4 yards of fabric. Again, just really pretty as a lining fabric. It's got really nice drape, so I might be convinced to use this as mock-up fabric for something, but I think it's best suited to stay a liner. All right, so let's move on to the thrifted patterns. Yesterday at the half-off sale, I only got one pattern, and that is Vogue 8888. That sounds fake, but it's this like negligee with shorts and a robe pattern. I saw this the week before. It was $10 and I couldn't bring myself to pay it for a pattern that I don't even know if like it's fully intact inside. But for $5 I thought I'd give it a try. I don't know if I would actually make pajamas, but I think this would be really cute as like a dress for layering for summer, but also maybe maybe I do want to try it as pajamas. I tried making, I'll put the picture. I tried making, I think, a simplicity pattern last year for pajamas that were like a traditional, like cotton button-up sort of situation, and I didn't like that at all. So maybe this is the next thing I try. Right now, I just sleep in old t-shirts or old like tank tops. So I think a lot of people do, because old cotton is just so soft. It's the softest thing in the world. And yeah, but I thought this might be fun. And then the robe, I think you could just make up in any sort of fabric and it would just be a great robe to have around the house. So the rest of these patterns I actually got in the discount bin at the thrift store. So these were either $1 or 50 cents. And the first one I got is also a pajama set. I'm really only interested in view A, which is this tank top and shorts, or view B. This is the kind of style I had already tried to make last year, and we didn't like those. Those were a no-go. Neither my husband nor I liked them, but I thought that this looked really cute and really comfortable, and it's pretty close to what I already wear, except for it's a racer back. And right now I've actually been wearing those tie-dye tank tops. If you've been following me for a while, I tried to modify them in my cover stitch chaos video, which I'll link, and that didn't work. So I got really frustrated and really disheartened. And then I just started wearing them because it was so hot. I started wearing them as pajamas, and they actually work really well for that. So I think that was their destiny the whole time. I am excited to try this if I can find some nice jersey. I think that that would be really, really, really comfortable. And to have it as a little set would be nice, because I do end up going outside in my pajamas at least once a night. And then sometimes in the morning, especially on the weekends when I just roll out of bed, I might end up going to take the dogs out in the morning in my pajamas as well. The next two patterns I got with the office in mind. So next is McCall's Easy 6084. It's this 1 hour cardigan. I think the settings on my camera are all messed up. So this 1 hour cardigan, it's got a sleeveless option and then a bunch of different types of sleeves and lengths. And I thought that this would just be really practical to have some of these to take to the office and to just throw on over layers. Right now in the summer, they've got the AC cranked up and I get cold pretty often. So I'm not sure in the winter if it's going to be the opposite. They're going to have the heater cranked up and then I'm going to want to be able to take off layers when I get in. So this is the other one. This is Simplicity 1559. And it's just this pencil skirt and pants set. So you've got the regular pencil skirt with slits in 2 different lengths, and then pants in 2 different lengths. I'm definitely interested in the skirts with the split and the pants. I thought this was just super like simple, basic, easy. You can just, once you get the fit on these right, crank out, 3 or 4 skirts and 2 or 3 pairs of pants, and then kind of be good. Like, you wouldn't really need another pattern for bottoms for work. So I'm pretty excited about that. The only thing, I think I prefer like a tapered pant. So I might try to taper these, but I'll always make the pattern kind of as is before I decide on any of that kind of modification. But I thought the split just looked really cute. And I also tend to sit cross-legged in my work chair, so I thought it would be good to have that bit of movement. And then the next two are dresses that I just got because I thought that they looked cute. So this is McCall's 7593. It's this very summery sort of dress. I'm mostly interested in views A and D. This like cross top and the square neck. I'm not really a high neck girly, but I do think these are really cute. I especially like this one that's kind of basically the whole top is a peplum. I might be convinced to give that a try if these two work out. But I just thought this was super cute. Again, like kind of more on the casual end. A lot of the patterns I've been buying are kind of dressier, but these I could see throwing on to go absolutely anywhere. I will wear the other dresses because I'm still going to make them, even though I'm shifting my mind to fall and winter. I think everything that I've got planned to make for summer pretty much can be layered up for fall at least, if not for winter. And again, like I said, I think my office is going to be quite warm in the winter, so even then you would want pieces that you could layer like down to. So I thought this would be really cute, and I also think that it will suit me. I think it's comfortably within the Kibbe Soft Dramatic style lines. But this next pattern, this is from a company called Style, which I've never heard of. So it's Style 2528. It's giving like 80s, 90s. I don't know when this was published. I mean, when this was printed. This is not in the Kibbe Soft Dramatic style lines. It's kind of too oversized. There's not enough sort of, you don't, from what I can tell, it's not just about accommodating your curve. It's about sort of emphasizing your curve, like with really soft drapey fabrics. And also you typically have like more narrow bottoms, like less full bottoms. But this just spoke to me, and I think it will be really cute to wear for the fall. And it's just got these little ties in the back. And I stared at it for a while. It was only $1. And then I just realized, like, I want to make clothes that don't look good on me. I've been sewing off and on for the past 10 years, and even when I'm not sewing, I'm still consuming like sewing content here on YouTube. I love YouTube so much, and I love the sewing YouTube space. I just think it's so inclusive and welcoming, and just really awesome how many experienced sewists are willing to share their experience with people like me who, even if you've been sewing for a while, maybe your skills are kind of lacking, or you don't find it easy to be inspired. And so I love that about YouTube. But I've got to say, pretty much every single channel has at least one video, like 10 tips for beginners, 10 things I wish I had done differently, that kind of video. And I think that most of them have a section where they talk about how they just made random stuff in the beginning. And I took that as a cautionary tale, and I avoided it. And I've really tried to curate my sewing from the beginning to be things that were like going to suit me, and making sure that I tried to be aware of like color and fabric, and making sure that every project kind of became perfect and was wearable and something that I was going to love and reach for time and time again. And that's really not worked. And I think that that's for a couple of reasons. One, it makes me sew less, so my skills aren't progressing. Two, I don't know what I like. Okay, this past decade, or maybe a little more, I've mostly been in jobs where you wore a uniform, so there's no expression there. And then outside of work, I'm kind of a homebody. I'm an introvert. I like to stay home. If I'm leaving the house, it's for like a thing. So it's normally kind of outdoorsy and active. And that's not style, that's practicality, which I think function is an important part of your wardrobe. But when you're going on a hike, or you're going to the beach or something, the focus is primarily function, right? And not necessarily style. And I feel like I've kind of lost, this past 10 years, sort of lost that gauge in my mind to think, do I even like this? You know what I mean? I also kind of went deep into a couple of fashion styles that not only don't suit me, but they were prohibitively expensive for me. And while I don't necessarily regret the time I spent trying to fit those styles onto my body, I do think that how do I want to say this? I don't regret. So specifically, I'm talking about Lolita and other sort of like hyper soft pastel. I don't want to say feminine. There's a feminine aspect, but it's also very modest Japanese inspired styles. I'll put maybe some pictures. But in the time that I was interested in these styles and then also wearing a uniform to work, I kind of felt like if I couldn't dress in that style, it didn't really matter what I wore, and my wardrobe just got really pared down to like really comfortable casual clothes that weren't exciting because I didn't have accessible to me the things that I wanted to wear, so I didn't put any effort into what I could get a hold of, if that makes sense. So I missed out on this big period of sewing where I could have been experimenting with my style and building my skills at the same time. So I'm kind of trying to reset my plans and my mind and my expectations back to that beginner's mindset. I think a beginner's mindset is so precious and so important. And I think a big thing about a beginner's mindset is curiosity. I want to get curious about sewing and style and myself and sort of dive into things like this that my brain, from everything that I've read and studied, says this won't suit me. Okay. But I want to try it anyways. I'm curious, like, will it really not suit me? I don't really like these little ditzy florals. I think that you know, I'm not going to try to recreate one of these dresses exactly, but what if I made it out of a really cool solid? Would that suit me more? I'm curious. I want to be curious and reach for things that maybe aren't what I should wear or what I should sew, and just try to see what happens. Just find out, right? If I find the right fabric, maybe this style could suit me. Or maybe I feel so good in it, I don't care if it doesn't look good on me, right? That's an option too. There's how you look in clothes, and then there's also how clothes make you feel. And so I'm curious to see what the difference is and curious about building a wardrobe that makes me feel good rather than just look good according to somebody else's rules. Anyways, I think I've rambled on enough. I'm sure you understand. If you are a beginner, just try, right? Just go out and explore and be curious and try new things. And if you are an experienced sewist, maybe get curious, right? Maybe try to reset to that beginner's mindset and reach for things that you've never tried before. Oh, you know what? We're not done, are we? Because we've got my tinysimplicity.com sale haul. So McCall's stuff was on sale, and one of my favorite YouTubers, We See Style, recently posted a video where she was wearing these amazing full leather pants. And I went back to watch the video where she made it, and it was this pattern. It's McCall's 8057. And she did these. They've got an elasticated waist. She tapered in, she tapered in the leg a little tiny bit more. And when I went on simplicity.com, these were on sale. All McCall's was on sale. So I picked these up. And then I also got a couple of other patterns. So I've got some wish lists that are broken down into different categories. So I just picked one McCall's pattern from each category. I know Nomi was on sale too, but none of the Nomi that was in my wish list was available for purchase anymore. So for my husband, I picked up this swim set with like a rash guard top and some shorts. I think that is basically what he wears to swim in, so that will be really versatile. And then this is a bag pattern. This is McCall's 8419, but I want to try to hack one of these really big oversized ones to make a carrier for Darwin. Put some mesh and put like a zipper on the top. and be able to carry her around that way. She's got a backpack, but she doesn't really love it. And then here is McCall's 7745. It's this really beautiful dress. It's definitely within the Kibbe soft dramatic style lines with the V-neck, the wrap, all this sort of really drapey. I think it's really pretty. I like all the views, honestly. I think it's beautiful. And then this one is going back to that beginner's mindset, and it's something that I don't think will suit me, but I just want to try. I'm curious. It was on sale, and I want to try. So this is McCall's 8479. It's kind of like got utility kilt vibes, and I just think it looks cool. I think this view A is kind of more simple, and then you've got the ones with the pleats. I'll make them all. I think they all look good. So yeah, this is one that I'm just curious to try, and so I bought it, and I'm just gonna try it. And I think that by going through this process myself organically, I'm just gonna learn a lot. So I'm pretty excited to try out this new, for me, mindset and see where it goes. So, like I said earlier, tell me down below, are you a beginner? What's something you're curious to try? If you're experienced, what's something you've always kind of liked but avoided because it didn't suit you? And maybe because there's so many sales right now, maybe you can find a pattern for it and maybe you can give it a try too. So that's going to be it for me, and I will see you next time.